One day, a monk and his disciples were traveling from one place to another place. After walking for a while, they became tired and decided to rest under the shade of a tree. As they sat down, one of the disciples approached the monk and asked, "Master, how can we calm our minds from overthinking?" The monk did not answer immediately. Instead, he instructed the disciple to fetch some clear water from the river in a cup. Eager to fulfill the request, the disciple went to the riverbank, but when he arrived, he saw several women washing clothes in the water. The river was muddy and filled with dirt, making it impossible to collect clear water. Determined, the disciple moved further down the river to another spot. However, he found that cows were crossing the river, stirring up the mud and making the water just as cloudy. Frustrated, he continued his search and reached another area where a man was washing his axe. The water was once again murky and unfit to drink. Realizing that he could not find clear water anywhere along the river, the disciple returned to the monk with an empty cup. "Master," he said sadly, "I tried to find clear water, but everywhere I went, the water was dirty. In one place, women were washing clothes, in another, cows were crossing, and finally, someone was washing their tools. I couldn't find any clean water in the entire river." The monk nodded silently and said nothing. The disciples sat in silence for several hours. After some time, the monk spoke again. "Go back to the river and fetch some clear water." "I am thirsty," he instructed. The disciple got confused with request and followed. When he returned to the river, he was shocked. The water that had been so dirty and disturbed earlier was now completely clear. He quickly filled the cup with clean water and brought it back to the monk. The monk drank the water and looked at his disciple, who was still confused. The disciple asked, "Master, how is this possible? Earlier, the water was so dirty and muddy, but now it's clear. What changed?" The monk smiled gently and explained, "Earlier, the water was disturbed by people and animals. It was cloudy and unfit to drink because of all the activity. But now, after some time, the river has been left alone. The water became still, and all the dirt and mud settled to the bottom, leaving the surface clear and pure. Do you remember the question you asked me this morning about calming the mind from overthinking?" the monk continued. "The mind is just like this river. When it is constantly disturbed by thoughts, worries, and distractions, it becomes clouded and confused. But if you allow it to be still and calm, the confusion will settle, and clarity will emerge. Whenever your mind is restless with overthinking or you are troubled by past events, be patient and allow your mind to settle. Like the river, once the disturbances fade, your mind will become clear. Patience, calmness, and silence are key. Rushing or forcing clarity will only lead to more confusion. Give your mind time, and peace will naturally follow." The disciple, now enlightened, understood the monk's teaching. With a grateful heart, he bowed to the monk and carried the lesson with him for the rest of his journey. If we see our life, it often mirrors the river in the story. Our minds are constantly stirred by the events around us, work, relationships, challenges, and past memories. Just like the river, when these disturbances are present, our minds become clouded with overthinking, confusion, and anxiety. In such moments, it feels impossible to find clarity or make sound decisions. However, as the monk taught, when we allow our minds to settle, when we practice patience, stillness, and silence, the mental noise begins to fade. The worries, doubts, and overthinking that once clouded our judgment start to settle, much like the mud in the river, revealing the clarity beneath. The truth is that peace of mind isn't achieved by forcing ourselves to stop thinking or pushing away problems. Instead, it comes from embracing moments of calm, giving ourselves space to breathe and let the natural clarity of our mind surface. In the reality of our daily lives, this lesson is invaluable. Whether we're dealing with stress, emotional turmoil, or simply the weight of our responsibilities, if we take a step back and allow ourselves time to reflect in stillness, the answers we seek will come naturally. Patience and calm are the true paths to peace, both within ourselves and in how we navigate the world. Just as the monk and disciple learn from the river, we too can find peace and clarity by learning to quiet the mind.